Evening, guys. Is this video late? Definitely. Are we used to this? Sadly, definitely. But, well, just to get this out of the way, welcome to the newest episode of Cringe of the Month. And now, I am currently on a treadmill right now. Because, before I get into Cringe of the Month, something I do at the end of every month is a weigh-in of myself. I've been doing weigh-ins for 3 years. Technically 4. Was it 2019 or 2020? No, 2019. At the end of whatever. Just to see how much weight I lose. And treadmill kind of last minute thing. I'm sorry. But yeah, Cringe of the Month, new episode. Now this is going to be different than most Cringe of the Months. Most Cringe of the Month, it's either, if you also hear anything in the background, it's Game Grumps, which I'm currently watching while doing this. Normally with Cringe of the Month, I at least have watched a whole show, or I know enough about a show, or I've watched a whole movie, or I have a basic comprehension of something. Unless you count that horrible Cringe of the Month where I made about Thundar the Barbarian. That was probably one of my worst videos I've ever made. But this is different because I've only ever seen clips that are barely a minute long and one episode of the Cringe of the Month topic. Hold on. Just improving the speed a little bit. And this will be about an anime that I got hooked into so fast. It is called Monster Girl Doctor. There's a thing with me in anime. I'm positive on my channel I've talked about My Dress Up Darling, one of my favorite animes, probably of all time. And Pokemon, I've talked about God knows how many times on my channel. I don't know if I've talked about Bakugan and Beyblade as much, but I definitely have talked about them at least twice each, maybe. But Monster Girl Doctor, I only watched one episode on Crunchyroll, and I swear to God, the intro to this show was not what I was expecting, because I've seen like the cute and weird clips of our main characters in this show on YouTube, but watching a whole episode of this one episode gave me more than enough to talk about, by the way. Maybe that 7 minutes gave me enough, because Dr. Glenn and Syphie, it's been a while since I've actually watched the episode, so I keep distracting myself, but our main characters, who are doctors and operate in a world where monsters and humans who were at one time at war with each other for 100 years, I believe they said in the show. That intro should lead to a badass series, right? Humans and monsters at war for 100 years. Immediately after that, we get the doctor examining a minotaur lady, female minotaur. And unlike when you think of a minotaur, and if you don't know what a minotaur is, usually it is half man, half bull. With male, it's more than likely sometimes human legs and bull top. Or sometimes it'll be centaur-esque, where you have a two bull legs and human top. But when it comes to anime and females, a female centaur is just a curvaceous woman with cow ears, a tail, and fur. Maybe little horns. He's examining her, as I'm positive he would any of these. That's the thing. One thing I wanted to say very quick, as much crazy crap as I'm about to talk about, the show has a wholesomeness to it. Where it is this guy, well, he's not, I don't want to say dense, he's just focused on doing his job as a doctor. But yeah, 7 minutes, it gave me more than enough to talk about this goddamn show. He's examining her chest. And one thing I can expect to hear a lot throughout this show, these women are female characters exclaiming that a part of their body is very sensitive. Also, I don't know if this show is relatively new, but the fact that I can't find any fanfics about these characters, who are the two main characters, who are clearly have a relationship, or at least childhood past. It's weird. When it comes to Pokemon, you'll see Ash Ketchum interact with a character for like 5 minutes, and there's like 10 stories like that. Good. Further back to the show. Further indications of this female centaur show that she is pregnant, much to her husband's glee and joy. A little bit later on in the show, we hear that Dr. Glenn and his assistant, who is a snake woman, have been summoned to an arena to help and basically examine the fighters. There we meet the ruler of a centaur transport company, who, while very stoic and confident in herself, is on a 10-match losing streak. But seemingly she's very healthy. Also, she flirts with the human doctor. Going on to that, Dr. Glenn, the main character, male character I should say, to be specific, he goes on to find out that maybe her problem, the centaur's problem, which I also don't remember her name, apologies, he thinks, after some drinks, what if her problem isn't medical, or isn't sick? What if it is something else? And then he discovers and realizes that every other centaur are wearing horseshoes. She is not, so she realizes she's off balance. So, along with the help of the centaur's two maids, or handmaidens, whatever the devil you want to call them, he has her fitted and set for horseshoes. Again, having the centaur woman exclaim that her hooves are sensitive. Her back hooves, to be specific, as he's carving off the access hoof to fit for the shoe. Saying a hoof is sensitive, I'm positive that they are. But when you look at it, you think of it as a very solid thing that it shouldn't be called feeling sensitive. It's just I swear to God, the comedy in this show is hilarious. The art style, beautiful. Backgrounds and characters, I can already tell I'm gonna love all these characters. This is the thing also. I wanted to marathon this show before making this video. But as we all know, I'm a humongous fucking procrastinator. So yeah, an episode like this is happening, where I'm basically talking about a whole show and predicting what happens off of one episode. What I can see happening, and because this show, I will say this, if you want to check this out, it is on Crunchyroll if you have that. If not, go get Crunchyroll. It's definitely, I think it's like a $9.99, $19.99, something like that. It is a paid subscription, but I highly recommend buying Crunchyroll. This is not advertisement. I'm just saying, if you love anime, get Crunchyroll. I have some more famous animes I have on there. That stopped me. Okay, just had a low battery warning. Okay, so I gotta hurry this up a little bit. So I won't talk, just a quick thing. Some more famous animes I have on Crunchyroll, I believe My Hero Academia, Fairy Tail, I believe they have Dragon Ball in there too. I think also Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe on that one. Don't quote me on that shit. But what I can predict will happen in all these shows, Dr. Glenn and his assistant will be examining multiple girls, because Monster Girl, but also get into very awkward and uncomfortable situations, making it funny and awkward to us, but to him in his world, nothing new probably. I am looking so forward to watching this, and I'll say this, after I watch the whole show, I will make a video coming back to this, so I don't sound like just a complete dumbass talking on my ass from one episode of a whole series. It's very weird, but again, I was given enough to talk about, and I felt like I was given enough to talk about in 7.5 minutes in the first episode. Also, I just have to say this right now, as I kind of just said with the two main characters being kind of hinted at being liking each other. The main female character, Sifley, something like that. Siggy, I don't know. She is Serena level in love with this guy. It is ridiculous how in love with him she is, to where it's so fucking cute. And I have seen other clips from other episodes. These two, I'm looking forward to seeing an English dub, and yes, I watch English dub. I don't like having to hear Japanese while having to read my show. I like listening to actually English talk, English dub voices. Nothing's wrong with Japanese dub, but I like actually being able to know what the hell know what they're saying without having to look at the bottom of the screen. Anyway, this is one of my weirder cringe of the months, but I hope you guys have a nice night. And I know I don't usually have like episodic crap, but I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't have a schedule for uploading. Just kind of say I am going to be on vacation for the next few days. Vacation in a sense where I still have to work. Yeah, it's gonna be suck. But have a nice night, guys.